Hey y'all, welcome back to Committed to Meet podcast. My name is Alexis, licensed clinical social worker and mental health therapist.
My name is Keisha, licensed social worker and mental health therapist as well. Welcome to episode 2.
Hey y'all, season 2, 2 for 2.
2 for 2.
2 for 2.
2 for 2.
Yeah, so we realized that we didn't, usually when we're podcasting, we like to bring a set of like different clothes as we shoot a different episode because it's going to come out the next week. But this time,
Y'all get what y'all get.
you're going to get what you get. And because we worked so hard on planning this that we did not think to bring an extra set of clothes.
Did not.
Yeah. So
Did not.
That's tea.
The show must go on.
The show must go on. And look at us. Look at this commitment. Look at this consistency.
Committed to the podcast.
So far too.
If we on it.
But let's get into it today. So, Keisha, okay, I got a question for you, girl. When could you have asked for help, but you decide to do it all yourself?
Girl, that is my everyday struggle at home. Every day. Baby, I be moving and doing things. Hello. You be like, I just asked me, why I gotta ask? You see me here, like.
Are you one of the ones of like, if you see me struggling, you need to ask?
Listen, if you
need
see
to
me
just
cleaning,
come in and
it's
help.
Sunday morning, the gospel music is playing, and as a black child, you know what those two things mean, right? It's cleanup time for the whole house.
See, I'm the type to be like, okay, if you're gonna be doing your thing, I'm learning this, that I'm not going to help unless somebody asks.
I do. I respect that. I do. Because, we do need to learn to be verbal.
Yep.
Say what you want. People shouldn't be mind readers.
Yeah.
However, in a marriage, it's husband and wife. If you see me wiping the counter, baby, you better grab a broom.
Very true.
Okay. So yeah, that's our struggle. We honestly talk about that a lot in our marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Like when to know my husband is tired, it's okay to let him rest while I'm cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if it's been 3.5 hours and I'm still at it, you better grab something. Okay?
No, you better
grab something. Okay? I better see some clothes in your hand, a towel being folded, change the baby diaper. I don't know. Do something.
No, that just sends me back to my own household. When I was a kid, my mom, whenever she would get up and clean, it's like we had to just get up and clean immediately. And I didn't like that.
It's stressful?
Yes, ask me.
It's very stressful. Listen, my mama didn't play, baby. She had us fill this bucket up with some comment and some dish soap, and baby, you better scrub these baseboards and wipe off my walls. Like, baby, I call my mama 1995 Monique. Because she did not play from 1995 to about 2000.
Get to cleaning. If she's up and cleaning, you need to be up and cleaning.
Yes. So I agree. So a lot of times we do feel like, okay, we got to do it all and be that strong, dominant person.
Yeah.
And it's hard to ask for help sometimes, honestly.
Yeah, it is.
It's very hard to ask for help, or even maybe to accept help sometimes. Sometimes we don't want to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
We're just like, I'm okay. Speaking up. Speaking up. But yeah, it's hard to ask for help sometimes.
Yeah, I like asking for help. I will ask for help in a drop of a dime because the minute I touch something, if it feels too heavy or it feels emotionally heavy, I'm looking around for help.
Amen.
I'm looking around for help. Amen. I am going to be that girl that looks around for help because taking things all on by yourself is draining.
Mm-hmm.
It is draining. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you can almost program yourself to take on more than what you need to. And I'm learning the art of just because I should doesn't mean that I should. Okay.
Amen.
Or you say just because I can, it doesn't mean I should. That part.
Yep.
So I'm really learning that. I don't want to take on more. I know it's there. Let's go get some help.
Listen, like when the trash people come and they take your trash, and I will leave that dumpster at the curb all night. I will wait till my husband get home, whether it's 8, 9 o'clock at night, and he'll be like, and I will take trash from the house to the dumpster on the curb. But I'm not bringing the dumpster back with me.
No.
Because I have a husband and I should not have to touch that.
Yeah, using your people.
Exactly. I'm not going to do it. So I get it.
So what makes people so silent when it comes to asking for help? Like, what is that about? Like, why do people not ask for help?
I think it's like hyper independence.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because you've been let down so many times in the past by so many people that you just feel like, okay, obviously I gotta do it myself. Like I just don't want to chance being let down again, being hurt again, maybe even being abandoned again by somebody. So I'm just gonna do it myself.
Yeah, that hyper independence can definitely be trauma responses
It's
to
definitely a trauma response.
being disappointed. And sometimes being disappointed is a big feeling to work through. So I understand how some people can see doing everything by themselves can be the solution, or they just like the way that they can get it done, or just being in control. But all of that is a trauma response.
It is, and it takes on a lot. Like you said, mentally, it takes on a lot. Like you said, if it's too heavy emotionally,
Yeah.
that was good because we don't realize the effect that it has on us. And even like you're doing everything yourself, it may make you angry or irritated, and now you're taking it off on people close to you, not even knowing that that's what you're doing. You're projecting. So there's a lot more consequences to trying to do everything yourself.
Yeah.
And you wear yourself out physically. You're tired. You start looking tired.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Sometimes yes, because I remember at one point when I was in solo practice and I was trying to do everything myself. And when you're in solo practice, you are your own biller. You're your own admin person. You are your own scheduler, like your operations, like you are everybody. And I had set up my camera trying to do content because I was going to record a video. And I had to delete the whole entire thing because I looked like how I was feeling. Looking tired to me, I hate that. I hate that. Like I don't know about anybody else, but that's a physical display of I reach my limit.
Listen, don't you hate when you walk in the room, they be like, "Ooh, you look tired. What's wrong?" You're like, you don't even get in here situated. Like that's not like. Why would you say that?
Why would you say that? If somebody is tired, y'all do not say they look tired. It is offensive, and don't be mad if they start reading you to feel.
So now you're telling me the effort I thought I put in to at least show up. It was for nothing.
It was for nothing because now I look tired. Now you're saying I look tired, and I'm trying to deal with the fact of me showing up here tired. That doesn't help. Like it just doesn't help.
It doesn't.
I'm so glad you said that. That almost triggered me because that happens a lot.
A lot. You be tired. TIED. Tired.
I be tired.
Oh, that's so funny. What else? It could also be, how you were raised.
True.
I feel like a lot of Black women were raised to be, the strong, independent woman, self-sufficient, don't rely on nobody, you don't need a man. And it's don't get me wrong, it's good qualities to have, but when you carry that as you grow up and you carry that in your relationships, now you're not letting your man be your man.
True.
And now you're showing him that I don't need you, and men like to feel needed. Everybody wants to be needed. Everybody needs somebody,
Yeah.
So you're carrying a lot of that around unknowingly. And it can create a lot of more issues in how your relationships are intertwined as well.
That's true. And I resonate with the girls that feel like they have to do that, because sometimes in your childhood, especially if you come from a single parent household where you see a parent doing it all by themselves, it starts to become your mindset that you have to do this. And as you get older, that mindset is not adaptable, because even if you aren't in a relationship, because a lot of women who make 6 figures or more, they're not in a equally yoked relationship where each partner is sometimes are not making as much as the other person.
Yeah.
And so sometimes one person is doing more than the other, but you got to really identify how they are also shouldering other responsibilities and another bulk of the relationship, because it takes 2 people to do that. But even if you're not in a relationship, being with your friends, how they shoulder like the support and the emotional heaviness that you may be carrying, and then you're not even aware of it. So just identifying how that, even though they may not be making as much money as you, or they may not have the same schedule as you, like their availability and tendency to be there, that's also a bulk of heaviness that they're carrying too. So you don't have to do it all by yourself. But at the same time, you may need to identify why you value other relationships so you don't go into this hyper independence.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is the purpose of everyone having family or friends or your village.
Yeah.
Is so you can rely on them and count on them. Like those people are in your life for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
They're forever, however long they're in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Like use your friends for support. And I know a lot of us feel like I don't want to burden my friends. I don't want to tell them what I'm going through. They
Yes.
got enough going on already.
Yeah.
But that's the purpose of a relationship is to talk about those emotional things or just let them know like, hey, this is what I've been dealing with. I've been
Right.
quiet. I just want to talk to y'all. And hey, I need my
Mm-hmm.
girl time, family time, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to girl time, because girl time is, once you leave girl time, I don't know
You be
about
feeling so
y'all, so
refreshed.
refreshed. Like you can take
Yes.
on life again.
Yes.
It's a whole
It's
new
like a breath of
feeling.
fresh air. I'll be
It
like,
is.
oh my, I'm ready. What else we getting into? What we doing?
What else do we get into? What are we doing?
Girl time is
Yeah.
amazing. It
Yeah.
is.
That's how therapy is for me too. Because sometimes in hyper independence, you think that you know everything. And yes, you do have education, you do have knowledge, but then there are also blind spots. And being in
Mm-hmm.
this alpha woman role.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And you got to catch
Yeah.
your blind spots, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And that what you are doing isn't normal, or that there are other ways to handle things versus just your way.
Correct. That was very good. You should always remain teachable.
Yeah.
I think that's a very good quality to have is that there's always room to learn, there's always room to grow. There's always room to take on something from somebody else. Somebody
Yeah.
else may be an expert in a whole nother area that you're
Mhm.
not.
Mhm.
And I think that's very good to have.
Yeah. Also, being an alpha woman, it's such a negative connotation depending on who you talking to.
Oh, they do.
It's such a negative
They
connotation.
do.
I think our approach is coming from it's okay to be an alpha woman, but also identifying how you do need support too,
Mm-hmm.
and how to ask for that. But
Mm-hmm.
society paints alpha women in such a negative light.
They don't like us.
They don't like it, and it's almost as if they create like this real
They
negative
just kind of persona around it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a two-way fold. I don't know how to word this, but it's
Mm,
like there's nothing wrong with being the alpha female because
no.
you're dominant. You know it. You got your stuff together. That's great.
Yeah.
But I feel like, and on the other side, like society has created this negative connotation because I feel like it's just this wave of them trying to control women when
True.
it comes down like to the bodies,
Mm-hmm.
the
Misogynist.
abortion,
Yeah.
yeah, all of that. Everybody has the fears like the Handmaid's Tale of that
Mm-hmm.
coming true, and it's just like this new wave of the government, society, whoever, trying to show women that you don't have control over your body like you do, or your
Mm,
mind. And I think that negative connotation plays into that
mm-hmm.
because they want to try to make us feel like less than or
Yeah.
inferior. I don't like it.
How would you define alpha woman?
I think an alpha woman carries herself with grace.
Mm-hmm.
I think she speaks well.
Mm-hmm.
I think she is able to honor her boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
She's able to communicate her needs and wants to other people.
Mm-hmm.
I would say she's educated, God fearing. You know, pay tithes, pay taxes. You don't want Uncle Sam or Jesus coming for you. Oh, I feel like she, for the most part, she has it together. Like she's very
Mm-hmm.
self-aware. She takes accountability.
Mm-hmm.
She has her goals in line. Um, what else am I missing?
I mean, that's a lot.
That is a
I
lot.
I just see alpha women as someone who knows themselves. And it's like a certain aura about them that when they walk in the room,
Mm-hmm.
they are commanding the attention of
Yes.
that room. Not
Yes.
in a very boastful way or like in a dominant way. It's just something about
The presence.
the presence is something that they know about themselves that no one can take away from them. Like that's how I define an alpha woman. And for a lot of people, women and men, however you identify, that could be very intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
That could be very intimidating. And I don't see anything wrong with that, but I do see an issue in people trying to tell that woman that they shouldn't be who they are.
Facts.
That they shouldn't go into a room or go into spaces carrying this energy of knowing themselves and knowing what they deserve and speaking up about that, and in whatever way that may look. Because also being an alpha woman doesn't mean that you have to be the loudest woman in the room.
That is very
It's
true.
just that you know how to be in the room and take up as much space as you deserve to be in that room. So that's how I define an alpha woman.
And how dare the other person tell you what you should or shouldn't be?
Society does that every day, girl.
Girl, the audacity.
The audacity.
It be high.
It is. And it's a lot of messages to unlearn because it's what you hear from your family. It's what you hear from the person that you're dating and within your community, always about how you should look, how you should dress, how you should show up. And I believe an alpha woman, she just knows whatever she puts on, she's putting that on.
Yeah, she's confident in herself.
Yeah.
Confident all the way around and not taking on someone else's opinion and like internalizing it.
Yes.
You know, she knows what to internalize and what not. Like,
right.
I hear you, but that's not for me. I'm going to put it over here.
Right. And knowing when you want to take the lead, that to me is an alpha woman, knowing when she wants to take the lead, not feeling like she always have to take the lead, but if the opportunity presents, she's not backing down. She's not scared, you know? And so I see that as an alpha woman. All that other negative stuff, I can't.
Good. That's good. That's good. So how would you say that the alpha woman would care for herself?
That's a priority. It's a priority. And sometimes she may fall short in caring for herself. But in caring for herself, she's doing that in a way that gives her energy to keep going because that's the vital part of it. So, like we said in our last episode, taking inventory, you know, I don't know. I just envision this alpha woman just knowing how she can access her resources. It's good. The knowing of how she can access her resources and not being afraid, like you said, to just ask for certain things. That's to me what an alpha woman is. In terms of caring for herself.
Yeah. And I think attachment styles play into the ability to ask for help in relationships.
Oh, what you mean?
Because sometimes, like, if you have that anxious attachment style or even avoidant, you know, you're going to avoid your feelings.
True.
And if you're avoiding your feelings, you're going to avoid speaking up for those feelings.
That's true.
And you're going to avoid displaying those feelings in your relationship.
Yeah.
So I feel like unbeknowingly, unconsciously, it plays into it because a lot of us were like, oh, I don't want to seem vulnerable. You know, I don't want them to know that I really want to hug right now. So I'm just going to be quiet. You know, I don't want them to know that I need help. I want to seem like I got it together. So I'm going to be quiet. So in my mind, they kind of go hand in hand. But of course, if you don't know your attachment style, you're not going to know to be aware that that's what I should work on.
Yeah.
But that's how I relate the two as well when it comes to relationships.
So you saying an alpha woman can't be avoidant or anxious?
Baby, she got to be secure.
She has to be
You got to be secure.
Yeah. Knowing your weaknesses as well too, it plays into being an alpha woman. It does. It plays into being an alpha woman because you're noticing that being an alpha woman doesn't mean that you got to be perfect. Or that you got to always have it together because that's not the case.
Not
sometimes.
the case at all.
And that creates a very isolating experience to where you're just on the island by yourself and nobody can get up there with you.
And what fun is that? I can only talk to myself for so long.
Exactly. Do you believe that it's hard for alpha women to find love?
I mean, if I go based upon all the movies I see on Netflix, I'm gonna say yes. But
what makes it hard for her to find love?
Because the people are intimidated by the alpha female.
Yeah.
And also, like you mentioned, sometimes, you know, it's not going to be equally yoked. And then that's going to be the difficult part is finding someone who's on your level and yoked with you, not only in like ambition and goals, but even also spiritually. And so if those two things aren't there, to me, it's like you're already setting the relationship up for failure. You get what I'm saying? Because you want alignment throughout whatever it is. And if there's no alignment, then what's the point of all of this, you know?
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be. I'm not saying, you know, I'm not going to generalize and say, yeah, it's hard, period.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be. You know, every person is different. As long as you're able to like know what you need, know yourself, know that these are my non-negotiables. These are things I can maybe bend on. And you have that in mind, then you're able to I feel like you have the vision to see clearly. But when you don't know yourself, you don't know your values, and you're just dating whoever, then it's going to be hard because it's not going to work out because that person wasn't aligned with you to begin with.
That's true.
So that's how I would say it.
And to me, it may come back to the financial aspect of it because statistically, the average income that a black man makes, it's about 39K a year.
You saw me jump back. What?
You know that is.
I was in my mind like, okay, 50, 60, you know, that's median. That's cool.
No, it's hard out here, girl.
39?
39.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard. And we know finances are a number one problem in relationships.
It's a number one problem in relationships.
Ooh.
So for an alpha woman, I'm not generalizing and saying that finances is like their main focus, but it does play a role into a relationship sometimes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Which
I didn't know.
$40. $40. Yeah, it's that's
tough.
That is tough.
That's very
and
tough.
So a lot of women who are single, who identify as alpha women, who are very confident and secure in their careers, they notice that the dating pool looks slim for them because they're not their counterpart who they may want to date isn't making what they're making.
You know what? I think that brings up a good point to being open to something different than what you...
Baby, what's different?
However you want to see different. We know what the number one different would be. But seeing different, I mean, like, we all have our list. You know, the 6'2" chocolate bald man ain't, you know, he can't be for everybody. You know,
why he gotta be bald?
Just because my husband's bald.
Bald, like,
okay, the fade, the braids, the dreads, whatever your preference is, but everybody can't date that type. Like, sometimes your type is what's keeping you single or keeping you in terrible relationships. So I'm just saying, being open to something different than what you thought would be what you want. You know, sometimes the package is gonna be presented to you differently, and if you're open to it, at least give it a chance. And you never know.
I hear that. I
ain't trying to hear that.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. It's just, what if that woman doesn't want to take on more responsibility?
I mean, true, but it ain't got to be different in the financial aspect. You know, it can just be different in qualities, different in my environment in which I think a man may be there. You know, different in the looks. Different in height. Some people got a non-negotiable in height. You know,
here.
I heard the short kings be doing their thing.
I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that. I don't know about
either. But I hear they say the short kings be flipping folks every which way, and they say they let them down bad. That's all. I don't know. I'm just saying, be open, okay?
I hear you saying be open, but it kind of goes back to what Tyler Perry had said on that Lady podcast about how, I don't know what was the discord or like how the conversation like transpired, but basically telling women that like if they make more than if their man makes significantly less than them, then they should just date that man. And I get it, finances is not everything.
It's not
everything, but it's a huge component to it. And I would say, finances aside, finding that man's true character.
That's good. There you go.
Is what's important, because you can be with a man that makes just as much money as you and his character is out of whack.
Baby, Diary of a Mad Black Woman. How he did her, that's why he was in that tub about to drown.
That's why she put him in that tub.
Yeah, exactly.
The amount of energy it took for her to wheel that wheelchair and just
throw him in there.
That's crazy.
I think he low-key got a bubble in his mouth.
I think so.
Hit the bubble.
But character is important because you can be with a man that makes on paper.
There we go.
Less than
there we go.
40K.
There we go.
But somehow the bills are always getting paid.
Amen.
You're taken care of. Things are getting handled, and you don't want for nothing, and you having the time of your life.
Because that's a good man, Savannah.
That's a good man, Savannah.
Okay.
That's a good man.
Yes.
But then, of course, like Travis Kelce, before he got with Taylor Swift, when he was dating that beautiful black woman, I forgot her name, but she says that man had her asking to go 50-50.
I don't like a 50-50.
I don't like I do not. I do.
We are not 50-50 in nothing.
Yeah. And so that just goes to show, like, yes, money isn't everything, but if you are an alpha woman, just identifying where else is the compromise. You know, but if finances is a big thing, do your big one, girl. I ain't mad at you.
Right.
I ain't mad at you.
Baby, 39K.
Yeah, no, that's a real thing. Like,
that's hard.
That is very hard.
That's hard.
And when I first heard that number, I was surprised. I was like, that's impossible. But then when you really think about like who you hang around with, like that's a blessed group of people like that got out of that paycheck to paycheck trying to make ends meet, and that's not an easy thing to do.
It's not. But even then, it makes you think. I'm sure that man doesn't want to be making just $39K. You know,
some people are okay with that.
Okay, some people are complacent.
Some people,
yes.
Wait, they ain't got to call them complacent. Some people just that's what they wanted.
Complacent.
That's what they wanted.
They still used to be used to, but still used to doing it, still doing it. Okay. That was not the point I was trying to make now. Okay, but even let's say the man is down on his luck. Maybe he's just going through a
hard time.
Yeah, you know, a Job kind of moment, you know. Yeah. And I'm sure that man doesn't want to be making $39K. So as well, he may be feeling some type of way about it. And then if you're after female come, you know, oh, you beneath me because it's $39K. That makes it kind of hard. So you want somebody who has a good character, and being an alpha female, you still want to be of good character as well.
There you go.
And it's a respectful way to tell somebody, you know, your finances don't align with mine.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean put that man down just for his $39K.
Because that's not an alpha female. I hate with the word female, but that's not an alpha woman. Like you gotta check your character, know who you are, and that doesn't look like putting another person down just so you can be on top. And that goes for anybody. Anybody.
Yeah. Okay, so I think let's also talk about how the alpha woman can sometimes be emotionally unavailable. You know, it happens, especially when you feel like you got to be Miss Independent. I don't need anybody. You know, I'm gonna keep you at arm's distance.
Yeah.
And you can play into you being emotionally unavailable, and you can just cut off your emotions. You don't make space for them or time for them, and that's detrimental. You know, it's the opposite of what we've talked about, the characteristics that an alpha woman has.
Yeah, it just kind of reminds me of like that character in a Black film that like she's a badass. Like they love her down. Everybody's so intimidated by her. But she's cold as ice.
Oh, baby, stone cold.
Cold as ice. I don't know why I'm thinking about Four Color Girls and Janet Jackson.
Oh, that was in my head. Yeah. I was thinking about her role. Girl, get out my head.
She was cold. She was cold, girl. She was so cold.
And then at the end, I was like, oh, that's why she cold.
Yeah.
He had to do her like that, though. But yeah, her character was very cold.
Yeah. And to me, that's not an alpha woman.
Yeah.
That's not an alpha woman. That's just a woman that's life has did a big one, and she's scorned. That's a woman that's scorned. Being a woman that's scorned, it just shows that like, wow, life has did their big one on you. Like you are now acting like what life has put you through, and that's not an alpha woman.
Alpha woman goes to therapy, or she deals with her emotions. She makes space for them. She's on her healing journey.
And is
okay.
Yeah.
You know, she is self-aware of things that she needs to work on. I think that's alpha woman. So yeah, we don't want to let the world make us jaded. Because I mean, it's a lot of things happen to us. You know, pain comes in all different forms and disappointments. And it's easy to play victim and make yourself feel like, oh, woe is me. This happened to me. But that's not going to get you anywhere. You know, you just got to be like, okay, yeah, this happened to me. It's sad it happened to me, but what am I going to do to overcome this? And how can I move past it?
Yes. And knowing that makes you an alpha woman.
Period.
Yes.
Okay. Now we're going to talk about how does the alpha woman show up for herself in relationships when her significant other cannot?
That's a tough one.
That is very tough.
That is a tough one, because if she's already in the process of doing everything and taking on so much responsibility, which I would not encourage for any woman to do, trying to figure out how to show up for yourself, I would say it's looking at your community and how you can find rest within them. That to me looks like an alpha woman, you know, getting her needs met outside of relationship. Because for one, a person that you're with, they can't be your everything.
Amen.
They can't be your end all be all. So yes, you know, as a couple in a relationship, as an alpha woman with an alpha male or whoever you're with, that relationship does have a purpose, but it doesn't have everything that you need in there. So you may need to figure out what else you're needing that's outside of that relationship.
That was good.
Period. I feel like I ate that.
That was good. Okay, therapist.
I mean, girl.
You know, you've been doing it.
This is my last couple pranks right there. The last couple of gems right there.
Oh, that was good. I ain't got nothing to add to that. That was good.
Yeah.
Rely on your community. That's very good.
Rely on your
I like
community.
step one, sis. I'm
Yeah.
gonna take that, put that in my brain, get to
It's
a
in
client
there.
the next session.
It's in there.
You take that one in.
But yeah, Alpha woman, we gotta start thinking about other ways in which we can define it because it's not a negative connotation. We don't have to put a negative connotation to it.
Amen.
Being an alpha woman is actually a beautiful thing, and it's a knowing thing, but it's also your energy and your sense of self that's connected to it.
That was good, girl.
Yes. So y'all leave a comment or review on today's episodes. Let us know your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe. If you'd like to add anything.
Don't forget to follow us on social media platforms, Committed to Me Podcast. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to send our episode to anyone that you feel like would benefit from it.
Yes. See y'all next time. Bye. Okay.